Hello and welcome back to the inner workings of the ontology machine. Now we are now in the taxonomy agent, and this is where the real interesting part starts. So now first, let me explain what is the taxonomy agent. The ontology machine uses an internal custom language created to your source material. And this is used to normalize documents and create interpretation masks, basically. If you want to know more about that, you can dive into the documentation. There's plenty descriptions in it. But for today, it's enough to remember that this is like a custom inner language. And for that to work, you need your own source material provided. So, for example, I chose to go to the internet and use a German news source to scrape 1 week of a daily newscast into a little folder, like I call it a news extractor. These are every day these news transcripts, and how you get it is you go to your install folder of your ontology machine. Like I said at the beginning, there are extractor tools in there. You have the article archive extractor. Here you have to install a I don't know how to pronounce that. This is a better version of an extractor plugin for websites, texts, and articles. If you double click that, it just opens up in a local environment and it will install it automatically. So it's just automatic. And you have to do the same for the YouTube extractor. So you have to install the YouTube DLP. I already did that for this demonstration, so you don't have to run that again. And then you can close it, and you open up. Where is it? Damn it! Yeah, here is it. YouTube transcript extractor. If you want a YouTube, this is the best way to do it. And just you paste in your YouTube URL, choose your output folder. In my case, it was like desktop news extractor ordner, and you specify the language you want to extract. Use auto subtitle. Sometimes the channel is professional enough to provide self-written transcripts. They are the best. But if they have no self-written transcripts, YouTube makes auto subtitles. If you check this box, you will basically follow an escalation ladder. It will use the extractor will look for hard-coded subtitles. If there are no hard-coded subtitles, he will look for auto subtitles, and then he will use different auth methods. Then, because YouTube is a bit, it doesn't like automated extraction of their data, so we have to do a little trick here. It is recommended to keep this on auto, so this is the best way. If it doesn't work in auto, it probably won't work if you create your own cookie text either, so you can just keep that there. And then you can decide if you want the raw subtitles saved or not. I keep this off, or override existing files if you want a re-extraction. And then just start extraction, and it will get you in this format. It's a markdown file, and in this case it will look like this. This is all the metadata, and these are the subtitles that are extracted from the video. Now I use this. These are 7 days. This 1 week. I use this as a sample mini dataset. So to create my own custom taxonomy, so you can see how that works. Just let me close that. Now, if you have your own data set prepared, and you just have to go to the taxonomy agent, and you have 2 choices now. You can choose your workflow via the just drop-down menu. Like in our case, you want to create a custom taxonomy with custom projections. This is your standard workflow you will choose, because every other creation path is like with a default taxonomy and no projections and all shebang. You don't need that. This is like for deeper testing. The normal working flow is custom taxonomy with projections. This is what you want to do. You can click that, or you can just tell the agent, well, start this workflow, and the agent will just kick it off for you. This is the only thing the agent will be involved in starting the workflow. This is all automatic. The agent is only there to explain to you what happened, what you can do, and but he doesn't do any file mutations or some of the sort. So let's show you custom taxonomy and projections. We click that, and then a dialog window will pop off. Choose artifact folder. So this means your database is not only a database, but there is an artifact tree around that where all created files will be stored. In my case, we just want, I just make a new one. Let's see. I take this. See, this is like the news extractor folder. I put in the files here. I will choose this as my database root folder. I submit path. Then what should it be called? I call it just news. Then what the database should be named, like newscast or whatever. And then he creates the artifact tree. And then he will ask for the sample files. What he did now, like he created the folder tree, and there's nothing in here. It's just the folders. And he asks, place the raw sampled files in the artifact tree input folder. The input folder is this here. So you open it up. Sorry, you just take that. This is, you can use all of them. Like I use all of them, like copy within and into it. I'll explain later. And now the input folder has sample files, and I confirm. So now the whole process kicks off on its own. Now the sample files will be used as a blueprint for creating this internal language. If you have like a book or a collection of papers, you don't want to put in all your files as sample files. This would be way too much. Like if you have a 500-page book, I would recommend to use like a cross sample of 50 pages or less from this book to give it as sample files, so the workflow has something to work with. If you just use one page of this book, there is not enough context in it for it to create a good taxonomy and good projections for it. So it's you have to find out what is enough, what is good, what is bad. It depends on the complexity of your source material. if you have just like one kind of invoice that always looks the same and has always the same names on it, you don't need 50 of these invoices to make a taxonomy of it. It's like 2 or 3, so the agent gets an idea that this is a repeated process and he will shape it accordingly. Now, you see, the process will run for quite some time. We put in, yes, you see, there will be a little bit smaller. The agent will analyze your samples and will give you a report what he found within the samples, how the taxonomy will be shaped. So he gives you an overview. In that case, it's the daily Tagesschau. It's a broadcast news. So he saw that. He understood what the source material is about, what the sample shows, what he knows that there's metadata in it, and he knows that is an anchored instruction and narration. That's totally correct. That's exactly what it is. Multiple news stories, correct. A weather blog, correct. Teaser content, correct. And the copyright or closing segment, also correct. So he correctly identifies the whole transcript, what it is made of. And then he develops a taxonomic perspective, how this should be framed. So some important findings. What the fuck? Yeah, that sometimes happens. He's done. So that's quite a lot of steps he went through. So sometimes I don't know what it is. He gives you a workflow completed message that should be also in English or in the. You don't have to talk to it in English. It will talk back in any language you talk. So you can speak Spanish, German, English, whatever. But sometimes he does this strange Chinese reply. I don't know why. I haven't figured that out, but it doesn't hurt. It just looks funny. So the process was done. The samples were analyzed, and the source has now a corpus. So see, newscast is filled. This is a complete corpus you can use for ingestion. And you can see that it is there because the semantic release is written. And within the releases folder, this is a custom release. There is a written custom release. So that thing is done. You have now a custom made database for this specific news source that you can use to ingest those files. Now, that's basically it. Now, what you will do later, this was just a one-shot taxonomy. You put in the samples one time, you let the agent run one time, and he gives you back one taxonomy. If you have pretty complicated source material with a wide range of topics in it, you can run this creation process multiple times. You don't have to run it one time. So you have the news extraction folder, you see. This is one. You can just rename it news 1 and then create a new one. Name it news 2. Nope. And then repeat the process of creation all over again. You put in the sources, let them mull over, create a taxonomy. Because of the nature of AI, those taxonomies will never be exactly the same. They will always differ in structure and content. If you have complex source material, you can run it like 2-3 times and you will have 2 or 3 slightly different semantic releases. And then you can merge those databases or those semantic releases together. And then you have all 3 variations merged into one. So that one will be way better suited for complex source material than just a one-shot. And you can do 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 if you want. But if you merge together, you have to keep in mind that it also increases the noise within the semantic release, because there might be similar concepts but named differently. And if they get merged, they don't get deduplicated because they sound different and there are slightly different concepts. That's a trade-off. The more complex you get, the better projections you get, but also you increase the noise within it. So the normalizer agent at the end of the process will have some more work to do, like, let's say. But this is like a more advanced process. We just did a one shot, and that's more or less it. Now, what you can say, you already placed the samples in the input folder. There are the samples, they will remain in there. And you just have to say, okay, agent, start the workflow for ingestion. And this is a manual pipeline run. You just click it or tell it. So yes, you have to, of course, copy path. And you have to tell it where the artifact tree is with from which you want to run the ingestion. Submit path. And then the whole thing will start to run. You just have to confirm again. Are there files in it? Yes, he counted. See, there are 7 files in there. Confirm. And then the document ingestion process will start. So now there are 7 files, and you can see one file splits in around 5 to 7 pages. It's like not one file has 1 page. This is just one newscast, but he splits it up in pages and then goes to ingested page-wise. And now all the process will run through, and this will take some time. It's like 7 times 5, 35 pages around will be chewed through, and we will come back later if it's done. So now the workflow did its job, and you got the complete message that tells you what exactly he did, where everything was stored, and that your database is now basically ready for querying. But not quite. Because we did just page-wise ingestion, we need to build the base graph here. And in order to do that, you will have to go back to your config page. Like, you have to reconfigure the client front end, because now we don't want the demo database, we want the database that we just created to work with. So in order to get that, you just get to your artifact tree you created. You get into the corpus folder. This is the database you created just. It is like 23 megabytes. Just copy path. and replace it with the demo database. Just remove the quotation here and then save it. If the path works, you get a green message. That means you're good to go. Just close it. And then you need to reload the front end. Just that means close every console window and restart the front end. Now you see you are in the, let's see here, you are in the database that you are just created. And you will see base graph missing. That basically means that the pages within the database just exist on themselves. They don't have connections between them. What we need to do is we have to give them the connections. And this is by just creating the base graph. It's pretty easy. You go to the ontology agent and you tell them build the base graph. And then he gives again a little summary what he did. Now you can see source documents grouped 7 because we have 7 documents, and this breaks down into the page level documents. It was 38. So now your database is ready to be queried by the query agent. You can just ask it what's in the database. So he will basically tell you what it is. It's a document type 38 TV news transcripts document. That's correct. It's a nightly news bulletin. It's also correct. And he will break down into the content, what this is, the metadata, and how this is covered. Now, this is the main fields and field keys. This is all created by the taxonomy agent. That's the internal language, how this database is now structured. So what you can do now is you just can query it. You can ask him, well, what's the topic that appeared the most? Date and title, yes, of course. You have to be more specific than that. Like, what news topic appeared the most? So you can see the biggest topic, what repeated the most was, without surprise, weather. And if you want, I can do a stricter count and compare topics like weather, politics, crime, and all of that. And you can say, that's interesting. Like, give me a crime summary. And then he will spit out the sources. Yeah, it's like badly formatted. You can change that like this. So, and then he just tells you politically motivated violence, riots, burglary, and justice policy. he will summarize the themes, or then he will give you further suggestions. You can also say, well, how about political framing? Now here's because there is where it's get really interesting for like researchers and such. He will give you a summary what he can infer from the corpus alone, like from the text. And he can then summarize themes or items, or he can craft examples from the from the transcript, and he can also give you suggestions how to frame it, or how to summarize the political framing in which topics. But this is only one way to work with the database. This is just driven by the text within the database that already exists. So there is no new insight you gain from that, or probably it depends on the question you pose. But you can go way deeper than that. If you just want to just extract your invoices, you can do summaries, you can do topic separating, and like if you want to make your taxes or something, this is totally okay. You don't need to go any deeper than this. But if you like want to construct relations between those articles and sources, you can go and use the ontology agent that we just used to build the base graph. And there you can do much more. And I will show you this in the next video.